Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, Nexon literally just dropped a pretty big, announcement. Not really announcement, it's more of a sale. So if you guys have already checked the cash shop sale for the week of, I guess the week starting uh, January 26, 2022, you'll notice that equality cubes are now back. And for those of you guys who don't know what equality cubes are, they're basically these blue cubes that give you the odds of hitting triple prime line on whatever item you use it on. Now, if that doesn't really make any sense to you, for example, take a look at this Absolute Mage Shoulder. Whenever I use a cube on it, you see the first line is 7%. That's considered a prime line because it's the maximum stat value that this item can obtain at Epic. So for Absolute, for items that are higher than level 160 or level 160 and above, the prime line at legendary is going to be 13%. Now, most cubes have a guarantee that one of your three lines will be prime, meaning the maximum stat value that can be obtained. And then the other two lines have a very low percent chance to obtain a prime line. I believe it's somewhere between 1 to 10% to get a prime line on that stat. Now, on top of that, there's also something interesting where there's specific lines that can only be obtained as a prime line. One very, very big example of that is this critical damage percent that you see on gloves. And the reason why you see so many people rolling for two-line critical damage, despite how expensive it is because critical damage is an extremely powerful line. At my character's peak, one line of critical damage was the equivalent to about 37% strength. And so, since this is a prime line, you have basically one guaranteed chance to roll it out of the potential pool whenever you're cubing. And then for the second line of critical damage, you actually have to not only hit the prime line, but out of every possible prime line you get, it also has to be critical damage. Now these equality cubes are pretty much a guarantee that all three lines of your item will be a prime line. Here is one example of an item that my friend Silent, or some of you guys might know him on YouTube as AVG Tamer. um, As you can see on the main legendary main potential, you have three lines of int 12% int. Now, it's not impossible to roll a line like this using black cubes or red cubes, but it's significantly harder. Especially because when you look at the way potential pools are set up, you have your initial set of prime lines, and then you also have an initial set of non-prime lines. And when you use these equality cubes, it basically guarantees that every single line is prime. So you're also only limited to the pool of prime lines, meaning that it's actually significantly easier to roll three lines with these cubes, but it also has to be in the right combination. So if you say you hit, or the correct one, for example, if you're cubing a warrior item, say an arcane, your odds of hitting three line int, three line luck, three line dex, three line strength are going to be higher than your odds of rolling them if you're using a black or red cube, but you still also have to achieve like the same three lines on every single line, if that makes any sense. But basically, what I'm trying to say is for the people who are free to play or don't really like spending money on this game and want to optimize or get the most out of these 30 cubes, my recommendation obviously is to cube accessories. Now, specific accessories that I'd be looking at are Superior Gollux earring, ring, pendant. I would avoid the belt if you can, just because there's something additional about these three items that will help you, I guess, reap your initial investment in, right? So, for example, these rings, if you were to hit three lines of prime stat line, people would love to buy it because that would significantly increase, say, their stat. Say a typical one prime line, three line item is going to be 30%. A triple prime one would be 36%. And that 6%, say if you were to get it across every single item, across what is this? 4, 8, 4, 7, 13, 4, 7, 13, 15, say like 16 or so items. It's like almost what 100% extra stat that you have compared to someone else who only has one prime line, 3-line items. On top of that, these accessories can also get percent drop rate and percent meso drop rate. And another and something to note that with equality cubes, it's actually I believe I might be wrong, and someone might have done this using black cubes, but I believe that it's the only cube where you can roll on accessories to get 3 lines of meso or drop rate. So that could be 3 lines of meso percent, 3 lines of item drop rate, or some combination of meso drop rate and item drop rate. And that's significant, and that's very, very important for people who are farming, because one, say you're training in the higher level maps like Outlaw Waste or in Hotel Arcus, you need as much damage as possible. So if you can get a triple prime line meso drop rate across 2 accessories to total up to 100% meso drop and 20% drop rate, that's only 2 items you have to swap out. Your damage will be significantly higher than if you were to use 5 pieces of equipment, each with 1 line, to farm. Which is why I pretty much highly recommend doing accessories that are tradable. So Gollux is a good example. The new Guardian Slime Ring is a good one. Um, and of course, there's also alternatives. If you play a class like Dual Blade, that significantly relies on cooldown reduction hats. Um, wow, that dropped so fast. That relies on cooldown reduction hats. You can cube a hat to try to get 2 line skill cooldown, because skill cooldown is a prime line and a prime line only. So there's actually no difference between the 2-second and the 1-second. I believe. I might be wrong. Um, and I only say that because I've rolled -1 second cooldown on my hat using equality cubes, which would designate that -1 second is also a prime line. Um, but yeah, so basically, your hat, if you're a class that uses skill cooldown, now I don't know what classes use skill cooldown, I just know that dual blades are one of them. And then also your glove. Now, this is interesting because your glove is actually, as I mentioned earlier, probably the hardest item to get a 2-line critical damage or even 3-line critical. If you were to hit 3-line critical damage on your glove, especially for an end game on an end game equipped like an arcane, the cost of that item would go through the roof. Um, so yeah, I would probably that's probably what my plan is gonna be. For people who don't have their weapons fully cubed yet, weapon is another good choice now that they've removed the 20% boss damage and 20. I don't think the 20 idea was ever aligned. If you were to hit any combination of 2-line boss, 1-line attack, or just 3 lines of boss and attack damage, it's gonna be astronomical. In the sense that in order to get lines like that, you'd have to spend so much money using regular cubes. Um, but since my Genesis weapon is more or less done and I'm satisfied with it, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm pretty much just gonna start off with my accessories. So 1, 2. This one's done, so I'm not gonna do anything on that. But Superior Gollux ring, Superior Gollux earring. If I finish these relatively quickly, I'll go ahead and throw the rest of my glove to try to hit 2-line crit. And if I can do that, I'll pretty much just be done. And I'll probably surf my account for other legendary accessories. I do not think I actually have any more besides the ones on my Adele. I mean, I can go ahead and check, just because it won't really hurt. But this is the only other character that I can think that would have a legendary accessory, and I don't think he does. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to comment down below. This event's gonna come this weekend, so January 29th, I believe. And I honestly think that anyone who's trying to progress in this game, if you have the funds to participate, I highly recommend it. Um, Obviously, you're not guaranteed to hit anything. It's just an opportunity to, make either make profit or like quickly progress yourself in terms of cubing for endgame potentials. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. As always, I have all my socials down below in the description. If you guys want to join my Discord or if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, feel free to do so. But yeah, that's all for today, and I will see you all next time. Peace!